If you have a Sailrite professional sewing machine and you ordered it to do a 4-point or 3-step zigzag, you can remove this back cover and install the 2-point cam, enabling it to do a regular zigzag. Use a Sharpie and mark the shaft and also the bracket that holds the shaft in place so you can position this shaft appropriately when you're done placing the cam in. So mark it here. We'll also mark it here just for added protection to make sure that if that mark comes off the end of the shaft, we have this as a reference as well. So we've marked it there as well. Now, we'll take an Allen wrench, a 3mm, and we'll release these set screws that hold that shaft in place. They'll be pretty tight. Alright, once they're loose, we can pull that shaft to the right and get to the cam. Don't pull the shaft all the way out, just to the point where you can easily access that cam. And here's a close-up of that cam. Now we'll take a Sharpie and we'll also mark that cam as well. Here's the other end just so you can see how far we've pulled it out. So we'll take a Sharpie now and we'll mark this 4-point cam. We'll mark it on the shaft and we'll also mark it on the cam here. It might be a good idea to actually take something and actually score the metal at this point so you never have to worry about the Sharpie coming off. There are 2 set screws that are Allen wrench set screws here. You can roll the balance wheel over if you need to get to them because we're going to position that bar with the marks we put on with the Sharpie. And you can pull this arm out to remove the cam and the cam just pulls off. To install the 2-point cam, we need to grab hold of the balance wheel and rotate it towards the front of the sewing machine until the needle is on the right side and in its furthest position down. As you can see it here in the video, it's on the right side and this is the furthest position down. And then we can position that cam, or the 2-point cam, in position. That's what it looks like right here. Before placing this 2-part cam on that shaft, make sure the Allen set screws are towards the top. So we'll roll this around so those are towards the top so we can easily access them. Then we'll pull or push this roller out with our thumb here and then push it onto the shaft. Now we want that flat spot to be right in the center. Okay, so with the needle all the way down and on the right side, this is the position that you want this cam to be when in contact with that roller. Once the cam is in position, do not rotate the balance wheel until you've at least locked down one of the set screws. Then you can rotate the balance wheel as we are here and get to the second set screw and lock that cam down securely. Now you're set. Alright, let's check our work. Rotate the balance wheel until the needle's on the right side and in this furthest position down, and check on that cam to see that that is the roller's right on the flat spot as shown here. Now we'll concentrate on pushing that shaft back into position, and you have to do this from this end and also from the other end. There is a little box that fits into a horseshoe assembly here, or a forked assembly, and that box only fits on there one direction, so you quickly notice whether or not you have that box the right way. You also have to do this at the other end, which is the left end. You have to adjust that bracket so that the shaft pushes through it just like this, and then as you can see here, this would fit in like that. So we've done that at both ends at the same time. Once this is in this shaft is in position, then we'll check with our marks. Unfortunately, the mark all the way to the left side has kind of dissipated because of the oil on the shaft. So we have our second reference mark here, which is very nice. That's why we recommend you put marks at both ends. Line those marks up, and you can do that just by rotating here. My right hand is on this mechanism. You can rotate that shaft back and forth just by doing that. Line up those marks, and then take your Allen wrench and lock those 2 set screws. And you want to do this evenly so that the pressure is kind of like you would do a lugs on a car tire. You want to do one side, tighten it a little bit, and then go to the other side, tighten it, and go back and forth a little bit until they're both locked down securely. There, that shaft is in place. Now we'll just put the cover back on and we're ready to sew with a 2-point zigzag, the standard zigzag. We'll now discuss installing the 4-point cam. The 2-point cam was installed. We'll release the Allen set screws and pull the 2-point cam off. Now we're ready to install this 4-point cam, and we've marked that cam. That's the cam that comes originally on the sewing machine, and it's been marked with the 2 markers here, so we'll just line up those markers. However, I also want you to know how to do it in case those marks aren't there, so I'm going to be showing you that here in a minute. I'm just going to lock this down right in the appropriate spot. Now, let's say that you've lost those marks and you need to do this all over. We'll rotate the balance wheel until the needle is all the way to the left side at its lowest position. This is opposite of what we did for the 2-point cam. This is on the left side instead of the right. And now, you can see here the cam should be at the widest part where that roller intersects the cam. It should be the widest part of the cam right here. This is the correct spot with the needle all the way down in the left position, then we'll lock it into place. You can see that our marks are still on this cam, so we didn't have to do any adjusting, but this is exactly the way it should be if those marks are gone. I would recommend on both cams marking it permanently. The only thing left to do is to push that shaft into position, make sure that it's rotated correctly, and lock down the last 2 Allen set screws. That's all that's needed to remove and replace the 2-point or 4-point cam. With a little bit of practice, you'll have these cams removed and replaced in less than 5 minutes.